record on the video, record on the audio, starting the stream. As soon as the stream kicks in, I will give you the countdown. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Coming up, actress, musician, artist, and ukulele boss Kate Micucci joins Illeana in just a minute.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, it's the I Blame Dennis Hopper podcast, starring Illeana Douglas. Eavesdrop with Illeana as she interviews Hollywood's most prominent players about filmmaking, acting, and what really happens on the set of your favorite flicks and TV shows.
That's right, what really happens. Hi, I'm Illeana Douglas. Welcome to I Blame Dennis Hopper, and I'm here with my co-host, Tamara Berg.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. I can't wait. We've got a fantastic show today. Kate Micucci, who I've worked with and a longtime friend and also admired her, wonderful actress.
She's amazing.
Singer,
I can't wait to
songwriter.
Get her. Cartoonist.
She does a triple threat.
Yeah.
So we were saying that pretty exciting news, Wonder Woman.
Yes. So the United Nations recently announced that Wonder Woman, the comic book character, has been named Ambassador of Gender Equality.
Yes.
I want to know what you think about that.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah?
I mean, again, well, I'm always saying, actresses using the platform of fame for the greater good. And I love the idea that the UN is going to take this character, sort of a positive role model for young women, and bring her to the UN. Plus, I feel like the UN has been taking so many hits lately,
Really, yeah.
I feel like in our childhood, the UN figured prominently in every Batman episode, You never see the UN anymore. So I love the idea of movies intersecting with
so
the
devil's
UN.
advocate. What about the idea that she's not a real person? She's an actual character. She's not human.
Yeah, I see your point there, but at least it's a start.
Yeah.
At least it's a potential franchise.
Right. So the things that I was thinking of were that cartoon characters tend to have more universal appeal, especially to children, because this is about girls and women, but especially starting with girls. That was one of the reasons why they created this ambassadorship. And so children kind of get the symbolism of things like cartoon characters and, stories a little better than they can from a multifaceted, let's hope, human, right? So I thought maybe that was part of the reason why they chose that.
Well, I like the juxtaposition against the male superheroes. When you think of Superman and Batman, they're always fighting evil and crime and they're dark, they're dark psyches.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman is like, Wonder Woman, she's like the positive, She's going to be about love.
Yes,
She's going to have her love bracelets.
She's got her bracelets repel bullets, basically.
They do, yeah.
But she does have her lasso of truth. I don't know if she still does have that, but that's what she had when I was a kid.
I need that.
Yeah. I know,
in current relationships.
Oh my
I need
gosh.
the lasso of truth.
I think we all could. But so we Michael, who is another one of the hosts here at AfterBuzz, was giving us some tips on other potential superheroes that we did not really
I'm not
know
the
that
biggest. I confess, I'm not the biggest comic book. I appreciate it, obviously, but I'm not the biggest expert on the comics.
And I was talking to him about what are some other strong women characters. So there's Batgirl,
Yes.
Batgirl. There's Storm, Black Canary, who's a fighter, Vixen, and Zatanna. So, there are some out there, but I definitely think, of all of those, Wonder Woman is by far the most popular, certainly the one that most of us have heard of.
Plus, she seems, with my limited knowledge, the most Americana.
Right.
She's got her, red, white, and blue outfit.
Right.
So.
But this is the United Nations, so.
But
another devil's advocate argument could be: is it only Americans who have the superhero characters available? I mean, obviously we don't know.
Yes.
We're not that familiar with them, but
I'm sure there must be different, sometimes I know, I'm going off topic here, but sometimes, they'll have Donald Duck, and I know in Sweden is a completely different character, but is basically Donald Duck. But I think she's representing America, kind of the America that we wanted, the America of the 50s. pre-Watergate, pre-Nixon, maybe as a positive. You know, again, it's sort of funny to reference Batman, but it was like the simple times where it only, it was like all the nations sit at one long table and they all get along, or they all disappear and get sent somewhere bad. But I like it. I think it's a great idea.
So in the ceremony, the two actresses who most recently have played Wonder Woman are going to be there. That's Linda Carter and from the TV series, and Gal Gadot, who stars in the movie that's coming out next year. And so just to talk about the actual press release from the United Nations, they say Wonder Woman's character is the most iconic and well-known female comic book superhero in the world, known for her strength, fairness, and compassion, and her commitment to peace, justice, and equality. I think that's pretty much all that needs to be said, right?
Now, I think it probably used to say the American way, but now it's equality.
Right.
But I love it. That's kind of like, equality. Batman was fighting evil. I'm fighting equality.
Which is a form of evil, inequality.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Can we agree on that?
I agree.
Absolutely.
I'm a little old school. I do think Linda Carter is the one and only Wonder Woman.
I so wanted to be her. I think my sister dressed up as her for Halloween a few times.
Yes, I wasn't the biggest, as I said, cartoon superhero fan, but I do remember, of course, Wonder Woman and Linda Carter, and I must say she looks incredible.
Yeah,
she looks amazing. So,
and this woman who's playing the new Wonder Woman next year is gorgeous.
I wonder what I mean. You probably have to go through a gauntlet to be Wonder Woman.
One would think
they must go through your background. No naked pictures can pop up.
No, exactly.
Comb through Facebook. Once they decide, they must scrub or bleach, or as Donald Trump says, they must bleach your Facebook.
Seeing that we have a cartoonist coming on, maybe.
Yes, I know.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we should just get along.
Let's bring
shall
Kate
we?
in.
Yeah.
Let's bring Kate Micucci in. She has been in so many wonderful movies. The first movie I saw her in was When in Rome, but she's been on Scrubs, The Big Bang Theory, Raising Hope. She has a comedy act with called Garfunkel and Oates. I've seen her play many times. I think that's the second time I saw her. Hello, Kate Micucci.
Oh,
Here she is.
Come sit down.
Yes.
All right, I'm throwing it. Is it okay that I have a Coke?
Yes, it is.
You can, yeah.
All right.
I'm equal opportunity. I'm doing. I've got my PG tips. I should
Nice.
have my little box here. Kate Micucci is so fun. Now this is very formal because normally we
is.
talk on the phone.
Yes, or
All
like
the time.
I feel like it's a very professional
Yes, I know.
way to talk to you.
But this would have been something I did in high school, though.
Me too.
Were you one of those kids?
Oh my
Feeling
gosh, I
kind
had like the high school news or whatever.
of-
Yeah, you
I
did that.
Oh yeah, I had the terrible. I had a little. My grandmother gave me a GE tape recorder. It was my favorite thing, and I'd have my cassette tapes and my little microphone, and I'd interview
And you'd
teachers.
interview people? Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. I love it.
And then I did, I wrote about it in my book. I did, again, nobody asked me to, but we had a local TV channel in the high school, so I did movie reviews and things like that.
Hey, you got to make your opportunities, right?
Yes.
I got to do the school announcements, so that to me was like, I've made it. Well, maybe not, but
Yeah.
but I remember the first time I did it, I was so nervous and also very excited. And, it was like that one microphone where you press that one giant button, like a real old fashioned,
Yes.
it probably was as old as the school. And I did the announcements, and I remember walking out of the office and people were like, that was you? Like, because apparently everything sounded so happy and like fast, and I was just so nervous. I just got through them all, and apparently I also said something about promoting drunk driving. I said the thing wrong, so I felt bad about that. Yeah.
Now, you grew up, I love New Jersey. You grew up in New Jersey.
Yep.
I usually like people from New Jersey. They have a sort of a specific, like, we're from Jersey.
There is a bit of a pride. Although I moved
Yeah.
away when I was 8, but all of my family is still there, aside from my mom and dad are in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is my grandpa owned a deli. That feels very New Jersey. right?
And is it what, an Italian deli?
No, he wasn't Italian actually, but yeah, it was just kind of like, sandwiches, pickles, lottery tickets.
Oh, did he say sandwich or was it sandwich?
He said sandwich, but I have family that says sandwich. It's hard to wrap my head around it.
That's my grandmother. Everything was a nice sandwich. You want a nice sandwich?
A sandwich.
Yeah. That I know. That's what I.
There is no G in sandwich.
I know. I don't know where it comes from. Must be some sort of Italian. Well, now we there's so many things to talk about. I have. I don't think I ever told you this. The first time I ever saw you, I was at a party with a producer, one of my line producers early on from Easy to Assemble, and we were at some Hollywood party, and you were there when In Rome had just come out.
Oh, wow.
So it was a long time ago.
Oh, that's a long time ago. That was 2000, maybe 9 it came out?
Yeah. And he turned to me and he said, "There's a girl and she looks like you." And I was like, yeah, right. Because I'm sure you hear that people come up to you and they go, and they look nothing like you.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
"Mom, all my friends say I look like you." And they're like, "You don't look like me at all." But anyway, he pointed you out and I said, "Oh my God, she looks like me." I said that she does. I said, we've got to get her on the show. And then I never sort of thought about it. And then the next time I saw you, well, we met through my friend Wayne Fetterman when I believe you were playing, right? At the Spirit Awards.
Yeah. We wrote a song to kind of honor all the nominees for the best movie of that year. Mm-hmm. And that's where we met. But then that's so funny. I wonder what party we were at. Do you remember what that party was? Or was it some random?
No, I feel like it was some big, fancy, maybe a TV party.
And I definitely didn't know. I was probably dressed in a way that I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Well, you were walking around and you were by yourself. You were like, when we thought about going to talk to you, and then it was like, I said, what if I walked over her and go like, "Hey, we kind of look like," you'd be like, because you never know with young starlets what they're going to be.
I'm always so clueless about those
old
parties.
Lady, you don't look like me.
No, wait. No, I always thought that when I watched you when I was a kid, growing up as a teenager, I was like, I would look at you and go, man, like you have the coolest career. Like I hope I get to do the things you get to do. So I've always looked up to you. So when we did Easy to Assemble, they were like calling me Lil Illeana or something like that. And I was like,
Mini-Me.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Was there any reference in that episode about the two of you?
Yes. Yeah. Tom Arnold, because I'm also really good friends with Jeff Goldblum, and it's a fantasy of mine. I got busy doing other things, but I did sort of come up with this. I wanted this concept for me and Kate and Jeff all to be doing something. I felt like we should be spies, like a family of spies.
We can still do it.
I know, we still want to do it. I think it would be a great idea.
Musical spies.
Yeah, but something.
Yeah, because Illeana was showing off her dance moves earlier in the room out there.
You got the dance moves. Jeff could play piano.
Yes, you could play the uke.
Yep.
So when I saw you there, I was kind of surprised because I said, "Wait a minute, I thought she was an actress." So then, did you? It seemed like your second incarnation, which possibly made you more successful than just having an acting career, was becoming a musician and a songwriter. Or was that always your intention?
None of it was really a plan. I sing with my friend Ricky Lindholm, and we have this duo, Garfunkel and Oates, and that was we never sat down and thought, okay, we're going to have a duo. But basically, the writer's strike happened in 2007. And so Ricky was like, I'm going to make a short during this time because there's nothing going on. And she had seen me sing my little songs on the ukulele, and simultaneously she was singing funny songs on her own. And so we were friends, and she said, would you want to come over and write some songs for this short that I'm making? So we wrote a few songs in a few hours. It just kind of happened quickly. And then she said, you know what, let's film these because I want my mom and dad to see them. And then she put them on YouTube because YouTube was really new at that point. So it was just kind of a way for someone across the country to see it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was embarrassed that other people other than Ricky's family were seeing these songs. But then it turned out to be a really great thing because a lot of people were saying, we want more, and sort of just caught on. And then Ricky went and left and did a movie, and I went to go do one in Rome, actually. And then when we came back a few months later, we're like, whoa, people have really been watching these videos. This is crazy. Because this is back in the day when YouTube would like feature videos. Like,
Right.
it wasn't like now I think it's set where you have preferences so that, like the things you like will pop up. But it was sort of just like sent to the masses. Like, check out these girls on their couch singing
Right.
songs that are dirty. So yeah, so it just sort of happened, and then we started touring. It was like a natural thing. We didn't set out to do it, but I'm glad that we did.
Well, I think what caught my eye was that it was a female duo, and that seemed, you guys both seemed very, my favorite word, quirky, and, kind of fun and cute and retro, and but also that you got along. So it seemed very highly unusual. So, I mean, it was very likable. I think that's why I started watching and following you guys.
Oh, thanks. I think, that is one thing people have throughout the years tried to like do storylines where we're fighting or like, to put us against each other. And we were always like, no, we're friends. And why?
That is so funny that you say that, because I briefly had a female comedian partner. We sort of tried to partner up, and that's whenever we would go pitch a show, that's what they would want, is that they'd say, well, you're going to fight. And again, it never worked because we didn't fight.
There's no authenticity in the fighting.
And also, it's not really fun to watch people fight unless, there are, comedy, obviously a lot of comic.
Right.
There's a lot of comedy in that. But, like, I don't know. For me, I would much rather watch two people get along and have funny things happen along. The conflict, at least for us, for Garfunkel and Oates, it never made sense that we would be fighting against each other. And in life, luckily, we really are great friends and get along so well and have continued to, throughout the years. Because, we toured and did all of that, and you're together a lot. And thank goodness we really like each other,
That's amazing. I was going to ask about like stresses of that or like I'm a big fan, obviously, of Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, and their management, sort of pulled them apart because each one was saying you'd be better off without the other one.
Yeah.
So, but you guys never had that, like you go off and do movies, or you never feel jealous if one person gets more successful than the other. Never face that issue.
It's sort of been really lucky that we've both just been so busy. Ricky created a TV show for Comedy Central called Another Period. So she writes and stars and show runs that show. Yeah. And so she's been really busy. They're just starting their third season. And I've, been having so much fun doing movies. And so, it's worked out where we're both busy, but we still can come together and do shows when needed. And we're still, trying to write when we can. But we're sort of on like not an intentional break. It's just we've been busy in a good way. So
you've been busy doing many movies, like Unleashed.
Yes, I want to hear about Unleashed.
So that was a lucky thing that we both got to be in this movie.
It's crazy,
and we got to share a trailer.
Yes,
that was great.
I'm not even sure how I got in the movie. Probably.
I think Finn probably was just like, I wanted you to.
Yeah. It's sort of mentioned. But anyway, so tell us about Unleashed.
Unleashed is a romantic comedy, and I play
starring you.
Yeah, which is crazy. When they called me and they were like, hey, my agents were like, there's a script they want you to look at. It's an offer for a lead in a romantic comedy. And I was like, wait, what? Like, is it a porn? Like, and then I read it, and it was just the sweetest movie ever, and I was so thrilled. And it's rare that you don't have to audition for, for a lead. I was just like, I can't believe that this is just being offered to me.
Oh, just side note, I was reading on your IMDb that at one point you were cast as the less attractive woman.
Oh, that's my favorite.
I loved it too. I just thought, oh my God, how rude.
Yeah, that is one of my IMDb credits. Less attractive girl.
Yes. Yes.
Which, I auditioned for Less Attractive Girl. My agent had to call and say, hey, you're going in for Less Attractive Girl. I made it through all of it, and I got cast.
You booked it.
As Less Attractive
Girl.
Yes,
you did.
I did it.
Oh, good Lord. But it made me laugh.
And it's actually
pretty amazing.
There.
It is.
Well, that's that whole quirky so the which I want to talk about that too. But was Unleashed your first leading role?
Yeah, first time. And I should say it's a girl who's unlucky in love, and she loves her dog and her cat so much, and she's like, I wish I could find men who are as loyal and wonderful as my dog and my cat. And then on a magical night, stuff happens, and the dog and the cat turn into men, and then they fight over her.
Aww.
What? It's like the cutest, most fun.
I know.
We just were at the Mill Valley Film Festival, and I was telling you, it's just it went so well. It was 2 sold out nights, and people were really into it. So.
Yeah, it's such a sweet movie.
How is our
Could
audience
actually be
gonna
a
able to-
series.
You know what? That's my dad keeps saying that. Actually, he's
No,
like,
I actually
Yeah.
felt that way. You just have to come up with some device where
Yeah.
they go in and out, of becoming animals and
yeah,
Right, exactly.
And I
Yeah.
should say that you're
When the cat drinks cream versus milk, he becomes a human again. Okay,
you're
is there a place where people can see it? Yeah, do we know?
not yet. It's doing the festival circuit, but things are, we'll knock on wood that I think things are going really well, and it'll be out hopefully soon.
And we are putting a clip on our website, which is
Oh, yeah.
illeanaspodcast.com, so our
Great.
viewers can look at the clip there.
Oh, awesome! And you're so good, and we should say you play the boss of the big company.
That's right, the boss. In fact, there was like a whole bunch of movies I did at the same time that there were these small little cameo parts, and I did Unleashed, and then I went and did Kevin Pollak's movie, and then I was in another movie, and I was at the premiere. They both premiered, Unleashed and then Kevin Pollak's The Late Bloomer. They were in the same week, and I didn't see The Late Bloomer, and I was at the press line, and I'm confused what role I had. I said I'm a boss of something. And of course, the movie was. I'm like, no, guess I'm not a boss.
She's quirky, that Illeana. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Playing a patient of
That
some
was
sort.
your backstory, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. It's fine. I only started being cast as the boss once I was on Turner Classic Movies, which is my next question. So you get cast as like the funny. Does that ever trouble you? It started to trouble me, like when I was the funny, quirky best friend of Robin Wright or Jennifer Aniston. It's always like called upon to be
The
might be a
sidekick, little clumsy or not so smart, or
They never my one issue was in the like when I worked on Picture Perfect, like they wouldn't let me wear any nice clothes. Like that was the thing.
Right.
She got the nice clothes. I'm wearing a sack, So did you ever, having gone down that road of playing those kind of parts, was it ever troubling, or are you just thrilled to be in a movie?
I'm still just thrilled. I haven't hit that point. But I've
You
also
do like 5 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, I think the other cool thing is I've gotten to do a couple things that were against what I usually do.
Yeah.
So that's been very exciting for me, just because I'm like, oh, this is way beyond what I'm usually seen as. So yeah, it's been kind of nice to mix it up a little, but I still don't mind that at all. I'm happy to be the quirky friend.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There might be a time where it feels a little like maybe it's getting to be old. But I feel like I don't know. It's just fun to mix it up, I guess.
I feel as if that part is supposed to be the energy inducer into the scene. Like there's the love story, but you're supposed to come in with a lot of motive. First
Yeah.
of all, you're called upon to deliver the plot a lot of times.
Yeah.
I can't believe that he hasn't called you in 6 months. And if you're going to take he called upon to string out some of the plot or her backstory or.
Do you find like it's always for me like that's so hard. It's hard to make it sound like
It's
just
horrible.
Naturally coming out of your mouth
Yeah.
the 5 important facts that are needed for the next scene.
Definitely. That's what I'm always, over a glass of wine or,
Yeah.
something like that. It's tough. It's not an easy, part to make. And it's usually the brunette is usually the person too. So
Yeah.
then transferring when you were doing Unleashed and now you're the lead.
That I think was so nice. Like Finn Taylor, the director, I think he was saying he wanted someone who wouldn't normally be seen as the lead.
Right.
So that was very cool on his part to say, hey, how about, the girl that's usually the friend? So
Well, because this is what I find ironic. Like, you have a stellar fan base and, you're very attractive and people want to date you. Like, sometimes when you're the actress versus the person, you're like, the person is actually very attractive and very popular. But, like, in the movies,
But in the movies, you're less attractive, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a weird alternative universe.
I feel like it just sort of comes with the territory, It's
Yeah.
like you're just like, okay, this is what this is. But yeah, it is a funny thing to be like, I don't mind. I don't know if you find this, but I love if you can make me look, grosser or weirder or have an ailment like that. I love that kind of thing. Like,
Yes.
Even I was on Raising Hope, and I had a dead tooth for the first maybe 5 episodes. They eventually got rid of it, but it was just one tooth was brown, and people would be like, "Oh my gosh, they make you look so terrible in that show," and I'd be like, "It's only one tooth.
Yeah.
That's all. I have normal makeup on, just one tooth." But yeah.
I always think it's better. My grandfather used to say that, all acting is character acting. It isn't like you can't differentiate like this person's a character actor. However, that being said, character actors do have a much longer career because they can transition into playing other parts. Whereas sometimes somebody who's locked into an ingenue part, the minute they put on weight or they start to look old, like they don't have any parts anymore. So
Yeah.
I think that's where, start being a character actress can sometimes be more beneficial for you.
Kate, I was wondering about the songs that you did before Garfunkel and Oates were sort of more PG and G rated.
Oh, yeah.
Say, and then the Garfunkel and Oates ones are definitely
R
R-rated,
if not NC-17,
So-
probably.
Right. So how was that transition for you? Did you have responses from people? How'd your mom?
Yeah, definitely responses from my family. And I always felt really, I was worried always. I'm always worried about what my family thinks. I think that's just sort of, we always
You're
want to make
Italian.
sure. Make sure mom's okay. But I always say I had like 5 songs about my dog. I had 2 songs about the moon. I had 2 songs called the Happy Song. Like I just wrote, that's where I was. That's kind of when I'm naturally writing songs. I don't go to the dirty place that Garfunkel and Oates goes to. That's just my brain doesn't go that way as much. But then I met Ricky and her sensibility. What happened was we were writing this little song, and I said, "Are we allowed to swear on this, or maybe not, huh?"
You can swear.
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said kiss you, and Ricky said fuck you, and we said it at the same time, and we thought, oh, that's the joke. And from there, we kind of just went down a little bit of a
interesting.
dirtier path. Then
So that was the first song. That went down
so it was
the
a little bit
R-rating.
of a confusion of kiss, fuck, what? But then it worked out to be like kind of the thing we did, and I was still writing my songs about dogs and things, but it was just, I couldn't deny that the songs about sex were just, people were really wanting to hear those.
Right.
So, as interesting as my dog was, I think that was just more of the topic that people wanted to hear about. And it brought us more into the comedy world where, the songs I was singing, I was doing comedy shows, but Garfunkel and Oates is definitely like jokes. And so it was like easier for us to be included in these stand-up shows and tour and do, comedy festivals and then tour comedy clubs. And so, it brought us into a whole other world. And I didn't even swear. I never said any swear words. And then once you start singing them, they kind of start to seep into your head,
Well, and isn't that kind of fun for you to be able to have people see you in a little bit of a different light?
Yeah.
Because of that?
I think so. I mean, it's, I think it's really nice. And I think we're at a place, I hope, that we're kind of able to do everything. Because, I really love, I do children's TV and cartoons, and I love that world so much. And I really care about that kind of stuff. And then I also have this other world where, we sing dirty songs. But I think maybe a long time ago it would have mattered. But now I feel like kind of you're able to do everything. It's sort of nice,
People accept the different personalities.
Yeah. And as long as, parents keep their kids away from the other stuff.
I mean, can you imagine like Pee Wee Herman doing a separate show that was like where he sang dirty songs?
Right.
You're right. I don't think you'd be able to do that. But now is there, let me ask you this, does there become ever, do you think, a cutoff point where you really like, I want to transition into serious songwriting, or I don't want to just rely on the dirty songs, even though they are what got me here and that they're popular?
Yeah, I mean, I was writing serious songs, prior and during.
You have
Garfunkel
a song
and
in Unleashed.
Yeah, a couple
Beautiful
of them.
song.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, I mean, I still write, and it's always a matter of time, and also I think writing music, at least for me, because it's not that I'm a full-time singer-songwriter, so it really I have to have like a lot of time and space for music to start to really make sense. Like I always have songs in my head, but like I think we all do, but like, I'll be like, oh, that's something, it could be something. But for me to actually like have the time to form a song and have I wrote most of my songs when I was a lot less busy. So I think I would have to carve out some time, and I like to write, like when I'm in New York, because like you walk through the streets and there's so many sounds, so you just like hear and there's like notes, and so like I that's when I start to write. Is I write a lot when I'm like in a city.
Do you have people that are then emulating you, like younger, like, oh, I want to be like a Garfunkel and Oates type?
I don't know. I mean, I think there are, there's definitely have been some younger duos coming up, but I think that thing has always existed, as far as musical comedy and duos. So, there was Tenacious D and Flight of the Conchords. So we're not the first by any means. So,
right.
So yeah, I think that there are maybe people that have looked at us and said, oh, I think we could do that. But yeah, I don't know. I hope so. For me, I get a lot of people saying, oh, I learned the ukulele because I saw you on Raising Hope or on Garfunkel and Oates. And that is always exciting because I feel like it's a great instrument for anyone to learn.
There's a long tradition of women playing the ukulele in the films and in movies and in old publicity stills and things like that. How did you get into playing the ukulele?
It's sort of, I was in Hawaii with my aunt and uncle and my grandpa, and I was there for 3 whole months. And I played classical piano all growing up and through college, and so I was missing my piano, and so my grandpa bought me a ukulele just so I'd have something to learn. And I bought a book of Gershwin songs for the ukulele. And so that's how I started playing it, was really truly being in Hawaii for a while.
Wow.
But the ukulele has gone in waves. Like right after World War II, a lot of like soldiers came back and like had learned more about, they brought it back to the States. There's a I Love Lucy episode, which is my favorite. You love I Love Lucy, right?
She's the greatest.
Yeah.
She's in the pantheon,
Absolutely.
And there's an episode where there's just a ukulele sitting there. I can't remember which one it is, but she like picks it up and she's saying her lines and she just like plays a and then puts it back down. No mention of it. And I was like, that's so cool, because in the early 50s, it was really popular.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to go through waves, and then it would start, and then it would go. I don't know. I love it. It's small. You can carry it everywhere, and people always think it's adorable.
Yeah.
I remember once even being, it was kind of sad, but I was in the hospital visiting someone, and they were like, "Do you play that? Will you come play something?" And it's like it's such a simple little poignant melody. So.
You can cheer people up easily.
So what are you working on? So you did Unleash, and that's going to come out. And then what projects are you working on now?
I just shot a movie. Jeff Baina, who is this awesome writer-director, we shot a movie in Italy with with Aubrey Plaza, who I know you guys are friends.
Got to get Aubrey on.
Yeah, and
Girls with Bangs.
Right? And big eyes. She could be in our sitcom with Jeff Goldblum.
She could. Gotta have bangs.
Yeah.
So
Aubrey and Allison Brie and Davey Franco. It's a really cool cast. Molly Shannon, Fred Armisen, Nick Offerman.
Wow, great
It's
cast.
really, really cool. So hopefully that will.
Now, is this an improv movie or?
Yeah, this was not scripted. There was a very detailed outline that we had to follow. But yeah, no script, which was awesome. I really love working that way.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. One is you don't have to go home and memorize lines. You know, end of the day, we were in Italy, so we just go get pasta.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds like that's how Christopher Guest works. We were talking to Ed Begley, and he was talking about it too. I find it almost unnerving though, because it's like the pressure. I like to be funny, but sometimes the pressure. When I've been in improv movies, everybody starts talking at the same time.
Right.
Even though there is a detailed outline, you're like,
It is a particular art to make sure that that you're all within the same flow.
You find some people that become more dominant, and then I find like it's a balancing act, trying to find your way. Like, all right, he's going to do that, and she's going to do that. What am I going to do? So that's where I find it a little stressful for me.
I agree. I mean, I think with comedy especially, there is, everybody has their strengths, and you're finding the way to weave the scene and make it make sense. And it's also tricky just for coverage, because you're like, oh, wait, what did I say there? Now we're flipped, But I've recently, like even with this movie, The Little Hours, which is the one we shot in Italy, there's a lot of dramatic scenes in it too. So I really kind of love working when it's more drama and it's improv, because there is less pressure to say a joke and slide a joke in. You're just being real and having moments, and it's kind of thrilling. Yeah,
I like the idea. Well, what we did on Easy to Assemble, which was sort of the Albert Brooks school, which is it's scripted, but I try to make it seem as if people are just talking as if it's just coming off of everybody's head, and therefore you shoot it in a very documentary style, but the script is completely sort of scripted. But I love one of my favorite. I was going to ask you about acting things. One of my favorite things is awkward pauses. I always, I write awkward pauses. I
love
act
that about you.
awkward pauses, because that to me, life is always like, oh, I'm thinking something totally different.
Do you pull them out in real life?
I do it naturally because half of the time I never really understand. I don't know if I'm thinking something else, but to me, I love, and I don't know, again, like in terms of comedy, drama, do you have things you rely on or things you like in that comedy vein?
I don't know. I mean,
in Unleashed and watching your performance, you have a lot of that kind of confusion. Why is he acting this way?
Yeah, I mean, in Unleashed, it's, the Justin Chatwin who plays the cat and Steve Howie who play the dog, they really have the real comedic, performance, where I got to be more of the person who's like facilitating, just kind of being the normal one,
Yes.
Which again was new for me to play the normal one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really love just like playing those earnest characters who are just like maybe a bit clueless to the world, or but those are always maybe my favorite. But as far as like awkward pauses, I don't know that I have like one particular
go-to. Go-to looks or.
Well, I mean, depends on it. If we're talking sitcom, and then it's like. Just that's my awkward. What
is that? Oh, I like that.
There's the eyes,
I like that. That's a good one.
But you can't do that in a movie because then your eyes are just gonna.
Mine is the deadpan stare, but I didn't know I was doing it. As witnessed in To Die For, it's this.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's real good.
You try to not. It's kind of like a, huh.
I've been on the other side of that look in conversation with you.
With me?
Yeah.
All the time. Anyway, Kate Micucci, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. And
Please
this is
come
really
back.
comfy.
Please come back.
Come
and bring
back.
your ukulele next.
Oh, we can jam.
We'll come back when your next 8 movies are out.
No.
We'll have information on you on our website, all your wherever you want people to know to find you and all that. Is there anything else you want to add? Right?
Oh,
where we can find you on Twitter and Facebook and all of that.
Oh yeah, Twitter is just my name, Kate Micucci. Instagram's just Kate Micucci.
And you're a fantastic artist too. I've been the recipient.
We didn't even talk about that.
Well, if you go on her Twitter, you can see you were making when we didn't even talk about when we were in the trailer and you were painting and I'm dancing and
we had a real
watching the
time.
movies.
And
It's great.
There was
a trailer that was like
we were in this tiny trailer and there was one day it was parked out on this cliff overlooking the ocean. You couldn't get a more beautiful.
It was incredible. It was so artsy.
And you were playing Birdie, who I didn't know who she was until you introduced me to her. And you were dancing to Birdie, and I was painting to Birdie, and we were just having the most amazing. Yeah, that was so much fun.
It was fun.
We did that joint painting.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we all participated in it. Well, that was my whole idea of why I wanted to get into show business was this. I thought that it would always be like
artistic endeavors and collaboration. And
totally.
All that.
And sometimes, when I've been on certain movies, when there has been that experience, it's just been, you're reading poetry or somebody, brings you into their trailer and you want to read scenes and you're painting or it's just been incredible. Those are always the high moments, for me.
I think too, I know, I don't mean to
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But that because you are I grew up always wanting to putting on shows, and you too, and the fact that we still do, with living room shows and just wherever we can get a group together. That's kind of how we operate. It's
I grew up with that. My grandfather, Melvin Douglas, again, it was sort of a tradition that after dinner,
us too,
you kind of roll. I mean, you wouldn't literally roll up the carpet, but you were expected to he was going to read. Somebody was going to read a poem. Someone was going to sit at the piano and sing a song. There was going to be some contribution, some artistic contribution, and I just thought every family was, recipient of that. I remember my cousins and I, we did the Age of Aquarius. I remember, like, we went in the, like, the other room and got together and did some, horrible, put, feathers in our head and stuff.
I love
did
it.
our own Age of Aquarius.
I love it. That's
Anyway, Kate Micucci.
Thank you,
Thank you
Kate.
so
Thanks
much.
for having
being
me.
with us.
Thank you.
And
And you guys can buy Illeana's book, I Blame Dennis Hopper. It's now out on paperback. It's a wonderful read. Everybody should
coming
get
out
it. It's
October
wonderful.
25th.
And you can check out our page on Facebook. Our website is illeanaspodcast.com. Thanks, everybody.
And just remember, everyone's life is a movie with a beginning, middle, and end. And this is ours. The end. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.